want to flex their political muscle on the world stage, they often glom onto whatever the next big thing is and brag that they've got it too. The same thing's going on right now with the planet's new space race. Countries are now scrambling to say they're players in space too. Case in point, a Canadian military expert has come out to say that Canada needs a space force too. Matthew Overton is the executive director of the Conference of Defense Associations Institute, and before that, he served in the Canadian Forces for 39 years. And in a recent interview, he said that President Trump's idea of creating a space force is a good one, and that Canada should follow suit. He also recognized that Canada would face the same challenges as Trump now faces, figuring out how a new military branch would interact with the others. If you take away responsibilities like GPS management from other branches and give them to your new Space Force, you take away part of the old agency's budget, and things can get really competitive and ugly really quickly. Then there's the fact that many people are calling for any and all of our global efforts in space to be focused on more peaceful endeavors, not new military branches. Critics of both Trump's Space Force and Overton's approval of it say that militarization of space is a travesty, which could lead to a misguided, dangerous arms race in space. We should be focusing on benevolent space councils, not military space forces. But Overton was quick to point out that since we're humans, we probably can't avoid military in space, especially considering other countries already have space forces. China actually is the only country with an already operating independent space force. Russia, the US, Britain, and France all have military space commands of some form already too. So while some people are calling the idea of Space Force premature, one that will push us in the wrong direction, others are saying the idea is long overdue. But no matter which way you lean, there's no doubt Space Force is an idea that's already spreading, especially if Canada's already getting in on it too. I personally am a peaceful person who tries not to war with anyone, but I do see one big positive of Space Force. Like the rest of our militaries throughout the thousands of years we've been on this planet, our space forces will probably drive innovation, meaning they could help us get off this rock sooner than later, or help us figure out how to use black holes to travel to distant galaxies, stuff like that. They could push our progress further out into the stars, in other words. And that, to me, is a pretty good silver lining.
Alright, Shalom Akim. First off, Zekal Halal Yahweh, Bashim Yahweh Shai, Bashim Rakakadash. Double honor to our apostles and elders of great millstone, rule well through the Spirit. And peace and blessings to the hopeful elect. Alright, the house of David, scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, preaching, living the word in sincerity and truth. Alright, this is Brother Yara Allah from GMS Dallas, back with another lesson through the Spirit and power of Yahweh, Bashim Yahweh Shai. And this article just came across, this video I came across yesterday. As you can just see, going into how there's multiple nations now gearing up for a space force, to where the most recent one was Canada, and we just saw that China already has their space force in play. And other countries such as Russia and etc. have some sort of space militarization as well. All right, and so that's the spirit, and that's according to prophecy how this is playing out right now. Because why is that? Because Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai is on his way back to visit the planet Earth and judge, man. Okay? The chariots, the so-called UFOs that you see, those are chariots of the Heavenly Father. And the so-called white man, the self-proclaimed white man, which is Esau according to the Bible, the nation of Edom, all right, those are the top elite banking families, okay, which are the so-called Jews, the tribe of Amalek. They know this, okay? They know this. That's why they spend so much money checking out space, viewing space, and and surveying the heavens. Why? Because of those chariot sites are increasing. They're starting to be made visible more and more. And pretty soon they're going to be here to stay. They're going to crack them clouds, so to speak, and they're going to be fully manifested. And Esau knows this, man. They know the scriptures. They know it's according to prophecy. They know what's coming. That's why they're gearing up. That's why they created NASA. And so now all these other nations are getting in on it. Okay. Why? Because even Ronald Reagan said that in his term presidency, if we were threatened with some outside forces, would we not all band together? That's why you see these movies of Independence Day, Water Worlds, all these different movies where Esau, the humans are fighting against so-called aliens, which they're not aliens in those spacecrafts. Okay, they're the holy host, the angels, so-called black men. All right, those are chariots of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shah, man. And Esau knows this, so and that's why they put it out there in those movies, and that's why they're gearing up for this Space Force, because they know things are heating up. Okay, we're gearing up towards World War III according to prophecy. And another prophecy is that those chariots are going to come manifest to bring destruction as well and deliver the hopeful elect out of destruction. All right. And so that's what this whole Space Force thing is about. They're talking about finding black holes and going to different worlds. Esau in his lies, knowing he can't do that because he can't get past the Van Allen belt. But that's really what it's for, man. That's why they spend billions of dollars on surveying the heavens and space, because they know the chariots are out there. And it's, like I said, it's all according to prophecy, but they're going to lose this war this time. It's not going to go down like an Independence Day where they send some type of virus and they drop the shields of the space of the chariots and win. Okay, it's not going to be like War of the Worlds. Okay, it's not going to be like any of those fantasy movies that Esau likes to put out to show himself winning, man. According to the scriptures and according to the true words of the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Shah is coming back to subdue all nations and kingdoms and restore rulership to the nation of Israel, man, and set up the hopeful elect and govern and rule in righteousness. So we're going to get into a few scriptures, and Lord willing, this is edifying for Achion. We're going to start off with and we'll go to Zechariah, the 5th chapter, because like I said, those are chariots, man, and that's why they're gearing up for this. That's why they have this Space Force, okay, because they are according to prophecy, they're all going to band together, all the nations, and they're going to fight against Yahweh Shah and lose, man. We're going to get that in 2nd Esdras, the 13th chapter. So let's start off with Zechariah chapter 5. Zechariah chapter 5, verse 2. Verse 1. Then I turned and lifted up mine eyes and looked, and behold, a flying roll. And he said unto me, What seest thou? And I answered, I see a flying roll, which is a chariot. The length thereof is 20 cubits, and the breadth thereof 10 cubits. Then he said unto me, This is the curse that goeth forth over the face of the whole earth. Okay, those chariots are a curse unto the wicked and to the other nations and 2/3 of our people, man. It's a curse that's going over the earth. Okay, but for the hopeful elect, that's a sign of salvation, man. That's a sign of deliverance. That's a sign of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shah saying that he's not going to leave us. Even when I believe it was Elisha with Elijah. He was so afraid, and Elijah prayed that the Heavenly Father would open up Elisha's eyes, and what did he see? When they were surrounded, he ended up seeing the holy host of the angels and the chariots all around him, man. All right, those chariots are a sign of deliverance and salvation for Israel. Okay, that's what was used when we were delivered out of Egypt, man. A pillar by day and a fire by night. Those are the chariots, man. For everyone that stealeth shall be cut off as on this side according to it, and that's for Esau, man. Okay, that's Esau. He stole this land from the Gadites and Reubenites and from the Issacharites as well, man. He stole the whole world, man, through what? Through the sword. Okay, so he's the one that stealeth on this side. Okay. And everyone that sweareth shall be cut off as on that side according to it. All right, and so that's the curse, man. And it's talking about those chariots, man. Like I said, and those sightings are increasing more and more yearly to where it's going to be manifested. They're just going to be here indefinitely. Okay. Like I said, it's all gearing up for that war in heaven, man. So let's go to Revelation. We're going to start at chapter 12. Revelation chapter 12, verse 7. And there was a war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels. And that dragon it's not an actual dragon. It's talking about the beast system, okay? Which is the EU, NATO, coupled with America. That whole Roman Empire coming back in reincarnation in that form, man. And that's that great dragon that's going to fight, okay? All these nations are going to fight against Yahushua and his holy host, which Michael is the top angel under Yahushua. Okay, that's going to be the war in heaven. Okay, it's not going to be actual real dragon, man, like some people like to think, man. You know, that's not the truth, but it's the actual beast system. And prevailed not, neither was there a place found anymore in heaven. And so they're going to lose, man. It's going to be a complete steamroll at the end of the day. Okay, it's not going to be to where the hero, which is Yahushua, he conquers, but his clothes are all tattered. He's bleeding. One arm, he's holding one arm. You know how the hero goes. You know, he makes Die Hard movies of Bruce Willis. By the end of the movie, he's all beat to shit. He may have 2 gunshot wounds, bleeding all over the place. You know, one arm is all jacked up. He's limping. You know, it's not going to end like that, man. You know, the only blood that's going to be on Yahushua is going to be the blood of the wicked, man. Why? Because the scriptures say in Revelation 19, also in Isaiah 63, which we'll get, his vesture is going to be dipped in blood, but it's not going to be his blood, okay? He's going to tread that wine. He's going to be in so much blood. There's going to be so much bloodshed from Yahushua alone. It's going to be like he tread the wine press. The scriptures say he tread the wine press alone, you know? So actually, let's go ahead and jump to Revelation 19. Revelation chapter 19, and since I mentioned that, I'll start at verse 11. And I saw heaven opened, and behold, a white horse. He that sat upon him was called Faithful and True, and in the righteousness doth he judge and make war. And that's what Yahushua is coming back to do. Okay, the Lord's not coming back for daps and hugs, man. He's coming back to bring a reward for the wicked and for the righteous, man. And he's coming to make war, man. Okay? He's coming to judge and make war with the wicked, man. The scripture say the day of vengeance is in his heart, man. Loosely paraphrasing. So he's coming back. He's coming back to eradicate the wicked and reclaim his throne, man. He's been waiting, and he's chomping at the bit to get at the wicked, man. Especially those soldiers that pierced him, man, because he laid down his life to these Edomites in the Roman captivity. And he's going to be able to get revenge for that, man. His eyes were as a flame of fire, and on his head were many crowns. And he had a name written that no man knew but he himself. And he was clothed with a vesture dipped in blood, and his name is called the Word of Yahweh. Okay, he's the Word of the Most High incarnate. Okay, he's a complete embodiment of the Word, man. All the scriptures. Okay, the scriptures say, "Lo, I come in the volume of the book; it is written of me." All right, but that vesture dipped in blood, like I said, it's going to be everyone else's blood. Okay, Yahushua is not gonna be no fight to the end where it's a huge struggle. Okay, he's coming to subdue and steamroll the wicked and these other nations. Verse 14, and the armies which were in heaven followed him upon white horses, clothed in fine linen and white and clean. It's talking about the chariots, man. And then horses represents power, man. Those chariots are the most powerful things known. Okay, they can shrink, they can expand, they can disappear, they can be invisible. You know, it's not any technology that man can fathom or create. You know, and they're gonna find that out firsthand, man. Okay, those fighter jets and those stealth bombers and all that shit that Esau has created, there's still knowledge and technology and wisdom that was given from the Heavenly Father Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. So he gave Esau knowledge. So hey, Esau has no way of winning. And out of his mouth goeth a sharp sword, and with it he shall smite the nations. And they're going to be shooting laser beams and bring along with the nuclear missiles they're going to hit. The chairs going to be tearing this place a new asshole as well, you know. And he shall rule them with a rod of iron, and he treads the winepress of the fierceness and wrath of the Almighty Yahweh. Okay, so he's going to tread their winepress, man. I mean, there's going to be, the scripture say there's going to be blood up to a horse's bridle. Now, that's not going to be literal, but that's how much blood is going to be shed in that time. Okay, and he hath on his vesture and on his thigh a name written, King of Kings, Lord of Lords, because he was given everything by the Heavenly Father. Okay, everything was given unto Yahushua. You know, he's the Alpha and Omega. He received a blueprint to create everything. Okay, and so everything was given unto him as the only begotten Son. Verse 17, and I saw an angel standing in the sun, and he cried with a loud voice, saying to all the fowls that fly in the midst of the heaven, come and gather yourselves together unto the supper of the great power, that you may eat the flesh of kings, and the flesh of captains, and the flesh of mighty men, the flesh of horses, and of them that sit on them, and the flesh of men, both free and bond, both small and great. And I saw the beasts and the kings of the earth and their armies gathered together to make war against him that sat on the horse and against his army. And that's that video that we saw. Okay, that beast system and the kings, they're all gathering together to make war. Everyone is gearing up and establishing their space force. Okay, because why? They know what's coming. They have, these other nations as well have satellites in the heavens to where they see those chariots, man. You know, they see those so-called UFOs. They make special appearances, you know, and so they're all gathering together to gear up for that final war that's coming. Okay, verse 20, and the beast was taken, and with him the false prophet that wrought miracles before him, which is the Roman Catholic Church, with which he deceived them. With which he deceived them that had received the mark of the beast, okay, which is the RFID microchip, and them that worship the image, which is different from the microchip, which is this whole system and the setup. Okay, that's the image. These both were cast alive into a lake of fire burning with brimstone, and that's when that nuke, like I said, that's when the nukes hit in the Third World War. But also the chariots are going to take part in that fire as well, shooting laser beams and delivering up the hopeful elect, and also destroying as well. Okay, so that's the war in heaven, man. That's being geared up, man. These beasts and the kings, they're going to gather together to make war against Yahushua, because Yahushua is coming back, man, to deliver his hopeful elect, and like I said, he's coming to judge and make war on righteousness. Okay, but contrary to popular belief, the church is thinking that he's going to come with daps and hugs, and there's no fear in those churches, man. There's no fear on the planet Earth, but that's okay, man. That's how the Most High wants it. Okay, he wants it that way so he can show his power at the end of the day. Let's go to 2nd Esdras. All right, 2nd Esdras chapter 13, starting at verse 1. Start at verse 3. And I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven. And when he turned his countenance to look, all things trembled that were seen under him. That's talking about Yahushua, man. Because it's true to say men's hearts are going to fail them in that day, man. In that real time of judgment, when all hell breaks loose, okay, people are gonna have heart attacks seeing those chariots, man. And whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they burned that heard his voice, like as the earth faileth when it feeleth the fire. So those chariots are going to come to destroy, man. And after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of number from the four winds of the heaven to subdue the man that came out of the sea. That's the same thing we just read in Revelation 19 chapter. Okay, all these nations are going to gear up, band together, because they're going to be fighting the world's war, and they're going to be fighting amongst each other. But when Yahushua comes, man, they're going to be like, oh shit, you know. Like I quoted what Ronald Reagan said, that's what's going to happen, man. So and they know this, you know, and they're going to band together to try to subdue Yahushua, man, because that's going to be the ultimate threat. But I beheld, and lo, he graved himself a great mountain and flew upon it. But I would have seen the region or place whereout the hill was graven, and I could not. All right, so that's Yahushua's chariot, man. That's how big his chariot is going to be. It's going to be like seeing Mount Everest, but you can't see the end of it, man. You know, that's how big Yahushua's chariot will be. All right. And hey, man, when you see that, man, that's why men are going to tremble that they'll be under him, man, because to see something like that into the atmosphere, man, that's huge, man. Verse 8, and after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were to gather together to subdue him were sore afraid, yet there's fight. Right, they're going to be shit in their pants, but they're still going to fight. Why? Because the Heavenly Father's going to put the Spirit on them to fight, man, to get their judgment. Okay, he raising up these nations and giving them all this capability to show his power, just like he said of Pharaoh when you read Romans in the 9th chapter. That was the whole purpose of setting up Pharaoh, man, so Yahweh Bashim Yahushua can show his power and the deliverance of his people. And the same thing's going to happen now. He's going to give them all this. You see, they're creating all these different type of missiles. The great Satan, which Russia has, that can destroy, one hit can destroy the whole state of Texas. You know, they're steady creating new technology and increasing and what's the word I'm looking for? modifying, adding more modifications to things that they already have to be more efficient, more powerful. And it still ain't going to amount to a hill of beans when Yahweh Shah comes with the rest of the chariots, man. And lo, as I saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand, nor held a sword, nor any instrument of war, but only I saw that he sent out of his mouth, as had been a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests. All right? So utter destruction, man. it's going to be bad in that day. Okay? And they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, and the flaming breath, and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight. It was utter destruction, man. Like when you seen on the movie Tom Cruise, The Waterworld, how he was running when those chariots first hit the scene, those vehicles, they were turning people into dust, man, with those laser beams, man. That's the type of technology those chariots are going to have. Okay, that's why when you read it, I believe it's Wisdom of Solomon, talk about the right aiming thunderbolts. Okay, it's going to be from those chariots, man. Actually, we're gonna get that as well. And they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight, which is those other nations, and burned them up every one, so that upon a sudden of an innumerable multitude nothing was to be perceived, but only dust and smell of smoke. When I saw this, I was afraid. So this is a vision that Ezra received from the angel, man. And he was so afraid of it because of the utter destruction and the power that's going to be shown and the type of carnage that's going to be displayed in that day. Man. The prophets were seeing visions and they were afraid, man. Like, man, even Ezra was like, "Who shall deliver in those days?" When he saw the division of the nuclear destruction, Daniel got sick at certain visions, man. So it's going to be a fearful time, but it's also a beautiful time, man, because the scriptures say the righteous are going to scarcely be saved. But they're going to be saved nonetheless, so that's why it's a beautiful time. Okay? Let's get Wisdom of Solomon. I believe it's the 3rd chapter. Actually, I'll just search for it. Slocky, I can't just bear with me. Yeah, man, this destruction is gonna be beautiful, man. At the end of the day, let's see here. Righteousness. Okay, Wisdom of Solomon, it's the 5th chapter. It's like it's 21st verse. Wisdom of Solomon chapter 5. Okay, start verse 20. His severe wrath shall he sharpen for a sword, and the world shall fight with him against the unwise. Okay, and they should be talking about Israel, man. The world of Israel is going to fight with him against the unwise, which is 2/3, and then the rest of these heathen nations that don't have the wisdom and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. All right. Then shall the right aiming thunderbolts go abroad, and from the clouds, as from a well-drawn bow, shall they fly to the mark. And so those thunderbolts, talking about the chariots, man. Those laser beams, they're going to fly from abroad, man, and they're going to hit their marks, man. Okay. It's going to be utter destruction. Like I said, a visual of that is that War of the Worlds movie with Tom Cruise. How those laser beams were coming out and people were turning to dust and powder, and then all that was left was just dust and molecules in their clothes. That's what's going to happen in that day, man. Total and utter destruction, and that's what Esau knows this, and that's what they're getting off that Space Force. But like I said, like the scriptures say, okay. Yahushua's coming to subdue all that, man, and subdue all nations with a rod of iron and put everything in subjection, man. All right, and then they're going to lose in that day, but it's going to be very entertaining for a little bit. Then they're going to completely steamroll. But the Most High has a grand finale to the end of the story, man. Like I said, the day of vengeance is in Yahweh's heart, man, and people are going to be wail and moan. Revelation chapter 1, verse 7, behold, he cometh with clouds, talking about the chariots, and every eye shall see him, and they also which pierce him, talking about those Roman soldiers, man, because they're here in reincarnation, okay, and they're going to get a special reward because they stabbed the Lord and they pierced him and they put their hands on him, man. And all kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him, even so, Aman or Tuab, you know. So all the kindreds of the earth are going to wail when Yahweh comes and enters the atmosphere, man, with that great mountain carved out, which is his chariot. All right, and it's going to be beautiful, and it's going to, and that's when the fun's going to start, and that's when the deliverance is going to come for the whole elect, man. You know. But with that, that's all I pretty much had. Lord willing, this is edifying for Akim. I want to say, call halal Yahweh, Bashem Yahweh Shai, Bashem Rakakadash. Double honors for our apostles and elders of great millstone rule out through the Spirit. Peace and blessings to the whole elect. Shalom.